Ever wondered what's really going on inside the mind of an alligator? These incredible reptiles are more than just powerful jaws and ancient looks. Today, we're diving deep into the fascinating world of alligator behavior, exploring how these masters of survival live, hunt, and communicate. Let's start with their social life, or lack thereof. Alligators are true loners. They prefer a solitary existence, master of their own domain. You'll rarely see them hanging out together, unless it's mating season or they've stumbled upon an all-you-can-eat buffet where food is plentiful. Otherwise, they're perfectly happy on their own, and they are very protective of their personal space. Adult males are especially territorial, and they're not afraid to show it. During the breeding season, they'll patrol their stretch of water, warning any rivals to back off. They use impressive displays to mark their territory and assert their dominance. It's their way of saying, "This is my spot, find your own." Being cold-blooded, alligators are solar-powered. We'll often see them basking on a riverbank, soaking up the sun. This isn't just for relaxation, it's essential for survival. Basking allows them to raise their body temperature, which gives them the energy they need to hunt and digest their food. When they get too hot, they'll simply slip back into the cool water. It's a constant balancing act. While you might spot them sunbathing during the day, the real action happens after dark. Alligators are primarily nocturnal, especially when the weather is warm. Nighttime provides the perfect cover for hunting. Their excellent night vision and stealthy movements make them incredibly effective predators under the cloak of darkness. Speaking of hunting, alligators are masters of the ambush. Their strategy is all about patience and conserving energy. They can stay perfectly still for hours, looking like a harmless floating log. Unsuspecting prey, like fish, turtles, or birds, might wander too close, and in a split second, the alligator strikes with explosive force. It's a highly efficient lifestyle that has served them well for millions of years. But don't mistake their stillness for silence. Alligators have a surprisingly complex communication system. The most famous is the deep rumbling bellow. It's a sound that can travel for miles and is used to attract mates and intimidate rivals. They also slap their heads on the water, use specific body postures, and even create low-frequency vibrations that we can't hear but other gators can feel. It's a hidden language happening right beneath the surface. Perhaps one of the most surprising things about alligators is their maternal side. After a female lays her eggs in a large nest of vegetation, she doesn't just leave. She becomes a dedicated bodyguard, fiercely protecting the nest from predators for about 2 months. When she hears the chirps of her babies hatching, she'll help gently excavate the nest and even carry the tiny hatchlings in her mouth to the safety of the water. She'll stick around for a while, providing protection for her young. Like many animals, their behavior is tied to the seasons. As the temperature drops in the winter, an alligator's activity slows way down. They'll eat less and move less. In colder regions, they might enter a state similar to hibernation called brumation. They'll often rest in dens or gator holes they've dug, waiting for the warmth to return. And these aren't just instinct-driven machines. Alligators can learn and adapt. They've been observed recognizing patterns, like the schedules of people who illegally feed them. This intelligence helps them survive in a changing world, which brings us to human interaction. Naturally, alligators are wary of humans and will usually keep their distance. The danger comes when people feed them. This teaches the alligator to associate humans with food, causing them to lose their natural fear. This is why it is so critically important to never, ever feed an alligator. When you think of an alligator, you'd probably picture a top-tier predator, a true king of the swamp, right? It's hard to imagine anything taking on a full-grown gator. And for the most part, you'd be correct. But believe it or not, even these reptilian powerhouses have their fair share of enemies, especially when they're young. Let's dive into the surprising world of what hunts the hunter. For an alligator, life starts out incredibly dangerous. From the moment they're just an egg in a nest, the threats are everywhere. Raccoons are notorious for raiding alligator nests, feasting on the eggs before they even have a chance to hatch. But the danger doesn't stop there. Once the tiny hatchlings emerge, they enter a world filled with predators. They're bite-sized snacks for a whole host of animals. Imagine being a baby alligator, just a few inches long. You have to watch out for wading birds like herons and egrets that can snatch you right out of the water. Below the surface, large fish like largemouth bass or even snapping turtles, whoa, and hesitate to make a meal out of you. It's a constant struggle for survival, and a huge percentage of young alligators don't make it to their first birthday. It's a tough start to life, to say the least. Now, here's a twist you might not expect. One of the biggest threats to a young alligator is another alligator. That's right, cannibalism is surprisingly common. Large adult male alligators are opportunistic and won't pass up an easy meal. Even if it's a smaller, younger member of their own species, it's a brutal reality of their world. Grow big or get eaten. This constant threat from their own kind is a powerful driver for young gators to grow as quickly as possible. Okay, so what happens when an alligator finally survives this gauntlet and becomes a massive 10-foot-long adult? At that point, their list of natural enemies shrinks dramatically. A full-grown American alligator is an apex predator, sitting comfortably at the top of its food chain. Few animals in their native habitat would dare to challenge them. They become the ones that everything else fears. But few doesn't mean none. In areas where their territories overlap, like in the southern tip of Florida, an alligator might cross paths with an American crocodile. These encounters are rare, but a large crocodile is one of the very few reptiles that can match an alligator in size and power, and fights can be deadly. Similarly, in some regions, a large Florida panther or even a black bear might opportunistically prey on a smaller adult alligator. Although such events are exceptionally rare and not a regular occurrence, however, the biggest and most significant threat to alligators, by a huge margin, isn't another animal at all. It's us. Humans are the #1 danger to alligators at every stage of their lives. Historically, unregulated hunting for their skin and meat pushed them to the brink of extinction. While conservation efforts have been incredibly successful, the threats haven't disappeared. Today, habitat loss is a massive problem. As we drain swamps and develop wetlands for cities and agriculture, we're shrinking their homes, forcing them into smaller areas and increasing competition. This also leads to more conflicts with humans. Alligators crossing roads are frequently hit by vehicles, which is a major cause of death for adults. Pollution also degrades their environment and can affect their health and ability to reproduce. And let's not forget about internal conflict. Alligators are highly territorial, especially the big males. They will aggressively defend their turf from rivals. During mating season, these territorial disputes can escalate into violent jaw-crushing battles. They'll hiss, roar, and engage in brutal fights that can leave one or both combatants with serious injuries. And sometimes, these injuries can be fatal. It's a fierce competition for dominance and the right to pass on their genes. So while a giant alligator might seem invincible, its life is bookended by extreme danger. From being a vulnerable egg and hatchling, dodging birds, raccoons, and even its own kind, to an adult facing habitat destruction, cars, and fierce territorial wars. The alligator truly has to fight for its place as the king of the swamp. It's a powerful reminder that in nature, no one is completely safe. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this look into the alligator's world fascinating, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the animal kingdom. See you next time.